This is Casey with Music You Can See. I'm sitting here with Jimmy Carpenter and Doug Woolverton. We're at the Big Blues Bender 2016 at the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Jimmy, I hear you're busiest guy out there. You're doing all kinds of stuff for the Bender. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I played the first Bender and was playing with Mike Zito on that one, and met AJ, and we hit it off. He liked my spirit and asked me if I'd come back as a guest artist. I came back, and since then it's grown into a much bigger thing.
So you're playing a big role
I'm
in
the director of the jams and the horn section and
the showroom jams, the big jams that are going on
from
like 11 to 3.
Right.
I was at the one last night, man. It was off the chain.
They've been really good.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, I was at the one the night before too. It was pretty incredible, also. So you know all these players, or are you just pretty much?
Most of them are friends of mine. You know, I've been doing this for 35 years, and in the course of that, I've met most of a lot of the blues world anyway.
Tell me about the collaboration here with you two guys. What's happening?
Well, last year there were only 3 of us, with me, Deanna Bogart, and Randy Oxford. And this year we wanted to expand it. I wanted a trumpet player all along, and actually was going to try to get Doug last year, but I looked at the schedule and Roomful was booked for the whole month, and I didn't want to interfere. Then Doug told me, "No, don't worry about that." So he was the first call.
Freed the calendar up and made it out.
He's a remarkable player.
Where are you guys from?
Well, I live here now. I live in Vegas.
Oh, you live in Vegas. Okay, well that makes it handy.
Newport, Rhode Island.
Way back east.
Way back east.
All right, man. So, Roomful of Blues, you tour around, you get all over the place, you do
all over the world, yeah.
I see you guys,
yeah,
man.
Next year we turn 50, so it's going to be wow. But I'm going to keep the weekend of the Bender open like I did this year.
Nice, man. Good thinking. All right, so as far as the jams, you draw from the at-large talent, the talent on the bill, or just whoever happens to walk by? We
try to do this year a little differently because we had hired all these leaders, their band leaders in their own right, but we just brought them themselves without their bands. So I thought this seems kind of silly to just have them wandering around and doing random stuff. Right. So I wanted to feature them, and I came with this idea that we would do 3 of them a night, 3 different artists a night at the jams, and I gave them the chance to submit their material.
So you get an artist comes in, hosts the jam, and you do their material.
Right. So that's kind of what I spent the last couple of months putting together. Was they send me the stuff, and I'd go through it and write horn parts for it and send it out to these guys. And
a lot of work, man.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work on the band. I mean, for me, that's kind of my job. All these guys really stepped up and learned the stuff, and I think we pulled it off fabulously.
Yeah. So, well, last night for sure, and the night before that for sure, man. Whoa.
It was a lot of fun.
So you know Deanna and
Deanna forever and ever,
and Randy and all those guys.
Yep.
Tell you something last night, that thing, the wah-wah pedal thing with the trumpet, holy moly, man, talk about that. Tell me what,
Sorry, I screwed that up for you.
Yeah, so I do a Miles Davis tribute show. I'll come to that.
Okay.
And I built this pedal board because Miles Davis would do the effects with the wah-wah pedal. And the wah-wah pedal is basically emulating a plunger mute.
Right.
Clyde McCall was a great 1920s trumpet player that, wah, wah, wah,
Right.
Well, Miles used the effects. I built the pedal board, and I go, Jimmy, I'd really like this. I have a wireless microphone. I'd like to bring my effects to the Bender, if that's okay. And he's like, bring it. Nice. And so when I had the opportunity, I'm like, this is the perfect song. And I was like, you know what? I just got to go for it. You just got to do that. So I did, and it was just cool. And I'm glad you dug it because I pride myself on the sound and kind of how everything's trying to work.
Well, because I thought it was a plunger at first, and then I looked out there and I'm going, wait a minute. I remember you had a wireless mic on there.
It's nastier than a plunger.
Oh
yeah,
you can a little
way nastier
thing to it.
So you're in town. You play with a band here?
No, not really. I mean, I'm just beginning to get into the music scene here. Mostly last year I toured with Mike Zito.
Right.
So I didn't really get into the scene here yet. I'm working on it.
Where's Mike out of?
East Texas, Beaumont.
Oh, so that was kind of a long distance thing going on.
Yeah, and that's kind of winding down a little bit, and I'm looking for other things to do. And this is a big, this is a big job, and it's getting bigger. So.
Nice. Tell me about your recordings. What's your current project?
My newest one is on VizTone. It's called Walk Away. All stuff for 13 tracks that I wrote. 2 instrumental, the rest vocal things. It's kind of a rock and roll, rhythm and blues record that I'm really proud of. I think the songs are strong. It's good.
Nice.
The one before that I did in New Orleans. It's a little jazzier, funkier. It's called Toiling in Obscurity. That's the one. That's the one that has it has that Stones tune "Shine a Light" on it.
Oh, nice.
I wrote about 3/4 of that one.
Nice.
And all using New Orleans players. Really, really amazing cast of characters on that.
And we can catch up with that at jimmycarpenter.net.
You can indeed.
Recording projects?
In November in the studio, yep. Recording with a band out of Boston. It'll be my solo album. First one.
Awesome.
I was recording a record and it was taking 4 years, and this producer, was a long story, but this is going to be a brand new project that'll be under my own name and big label, and it'll be cool. Should be out next year sometime. So
cool,
excited
man.
about that.
All right. Tons of the artists that are here are on the cruise. You guys do the blues cruise thing?
I've done the blues cruise a bunch of times, and also the Delbert McClinton cruise.
Right, Sandy Beaches.
Sandy Beaches.
Right on.
Which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people.
We did last year. And,
he was sitting in that chair about an hour ago, and we were talking about it. And it's one of his proud things that he does.
It's a really cool thing. Yeah. He's put together this kind of basic cast of people that are old school songwriters, country, soul, R&B, a lot of different genres of things. And he brings all these old songwriters on the ship, and they're really successful songwriters. But they're old country boys, and so they sit there and they tell you about these songs. And they, Rolling Stones cut this in '68, and stuff that it's like, wow. Yeah. You sit there and go, man.
So before the wheel, what were you doing?
And I was the leader of Walter Wolfman Washington and the Roadmasters. I was the band leader for him for 9 years.
Wow, nice. So you got deep roots. Even before that, I'm sure, a long time back.
Before that, yeah.
Was there ever a moment, a person that came into your life at a time when maybe you were thinking about giving it up, thinking it ain't going to work out, or giving you a certain amount of, some kind of motivation, somebody that really inspired you?
There have been a lot of people over the years that did that. I was in a band in D.C. called the Believers, and we were kind of an original rock and roll band, and we did really well. We had, I had the band on salary, we had health insurance, all kinds of stuff. But then when the grunge thing came along, it sort of made us incredibly unhip almost overnight.
Wow,
and so I stopped and was an agent for a little while because I'm good at the business end of it. And one day Tinsley Ellis called me up out of the blue, and he's an old friend, and he said, "Man, I know you're doing this business thing, but I'm thinking I want to take a saxophone player out for a year and just do a whole guitar sax thing. What do you think?" And I said to him, I said, "Well, I need to really give this some thought." But really, into my mind went, "Hell yeah, I'm out of here."
That's cool.
So that kicked me back in, and that was in '98, and I just hit the road hard, and basically I've hit it really hard ever since then.
Nice. And Roomful, you've been with them for
going on 9 years.
Really? Before that?
Before that, I was I graduated from college in 2004.
Okay, so there haven't been not a lot before that.
No, but funny story. My senior year of college, Roomful of Blues was playing in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is where I went to school, about 2.5 hours east of Sioux Falls. And I was playing with a band on the B stage, and Roomful of Blues was there, and I'm like, someday I want to be in a band like that. And 4 years later, I joined the band, and then the rest is history.
Nice.
And 50 years old next year, like I mentioned a little earlier. So
cool. The band.
The band. No, I'm not 50.
Cool when a plan works out like that, man.
Cool. Well, it's like, you got to be careful for what you ask for.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it came true. I mean, the circumstances, were not that. The trumpet player passed away. He was in the band for 28 years. Wow. And it was really difficult to replace a guy that, passed away and had been almost a brother with the band since, the year.
All that ingrained,
Right.
Yeah.
Roomful were heroes to all of us.
Right.
I heard them like 78, 79 and was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And they were always ahead of their time or behind their time, I don't know which.
Both.
Sort of both.
The swing
thing came back in the early 90s, and I don't know if that helped you guys or not.
Oh, they were kind of, when the swing music came back, they were kind of trying to go a different direction. They kind of missed the boat there because
Right.
they were already doing that, you know.
Yeah, they'd been doing that for years.
Right. Roomful, I mean, when Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi asked them to be the backup band in the 70s, like they were the band that everyone wanted, like those two guys. And
Right.
Rich Latai, who's still in the band, he's been in the band since 1970. He's got a great story. He's like Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. They did 2 shows with them because they were the hot blues band. And Duke, you know, he was like, screw this. He got sprayed with beer. They're like, John Belushi was spraying the beer over everybody on the balcony. Like, the audience did the same thing. And he thought those 2 guys were making fun of the blues. And Duke's like, he was the leader of the band, was like taking offense to it.
Duke Robillard.
Duke Robillard, yeah. Right. And Rich says they were on the road so much, they had no idea really who these guys were because they were on Saturday Night Live and they had no time to watch Saturday Night Live. They were always working. So it's like, who are these 2 guys and why are they making fun of us? We don't need to do this. And there's a famous Rolling Stone magazine article about that whole story. And
really?
But, you know, to be a part of the band and see the ups and downs, you know, like I said, to be a part of the 50th next year is hopefully we'll be at the Bender, which would be great, or just you'll see us, you know, playing. But it's truly been an honor. It's connected me with guys like Jimmy to be able to do this. And the Roomful had gigs this weekend. I mean, they were working.
Wow.
And I got one of Stevie Wonder's trumpet players to sing.
Oh, yeah, I heard you talking about that last night.
Yeah, so they were in good, great hands. But, like, I'm so proud to be here and be a part of this event because the cruise people are here. This is creating its own staple for the blues, and it's cool to see. We're walking down the hall, walking to the next gig. When people stop you and say, "You guys are so busy, we saw you here," like, that's our job. You know, we're doing it, and thanks to this guy, you know, he says, you know, be here whenever, we're there, because Jimmy's the man.
Well, these days, post-Napster, live music is everything, man. Touring, you gotta make it on the road. You gotta get out there and play
it's
the
funny
music.
because it used to be the other way around.
Exactly.
It used to be, you know, nobody made money on the road. They made money selling records.
You put out a record, and then the record company made you go out and support it.
Right. Now nobody makes any money selling records.
Yeah.
And you gotta do it on the road.
Yeah.
And this, you know, these in the blues world, these kind of events, and this is a pretty spectacular when it's come along really quickly. This is the 3rd year, and it's
They actually had one, not called the Bender.
The Sin City, right? And I was here. I was actually at that one.
Yeah.
That's the one I met Adrian, precursor to the Bender. But it's for us. It's I mean, it's been a wonderful thing. We've worked it out. We're at large. We're available to whoever wants us here.
Right.
And last year, almost no one did. Robert Randolph got me and Randy Oxford to play, and that was a magical thing. It was beautiful.
Oh, I saw that. I videoed that.
Yeah, that was really,
I videoed
really
that
good.
whole show.
That was a great thing. But this year,
I love Robert.
This year we got all kinds of things. You know, we did all the John Namath sets.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys tore it up.
Was that great?
Oh my god,
that was fun.
And it's gotten me, you know, to be able to play a lot with this guy and Mark Early, and with Deanna and Randy.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a good connection, and I think this will set us up to do more things with not just here, you know.
So you guys spend time in the studio, of course, when you're recording albums. But you seem like you would be a studio guy. You would be a session musician.
I have it goes in you know, spurts. Sometimes I do a lot. In New Orleans, I was doing a lot of writing arrangements for people and then playing the records. Out here, I haven't so much, but I think this thing will be good for me because I wrote a bunch of original arrangements for this thing, and everybody seemed to dig them. So I'm hoping that'll generate some work.
All right.
We just got here.
So you jump from here back to Roomful.
No, actually, I'm in, yes. So I play the jam tonight with Tab, Bender Brass, and that'll go till 3:30. And I have a 4 a.m. pickup to go to the airport. I land in Providence at 5:45. I'm driving to my gig. I have 2 bands that I'm the leader of, and, and I have to play a gig tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in Newport, Rhode Island.
Man.
Yep.
Man, oh man.
So it's busy, and then shows. I have 7 gigs in a row, so it's busy.
Busy is good though.
Yeah, I'm a busy.
Busy is good.
Busy.
Yeah.
I like busy.
Yeah.
Plus he's young.
Yeah. Well, keep making those flights from Rhode Island to here, you get old quick.
That's I mean, this is a beautiful place to live, and the airport is wonderful. There's flights to everywhere all the time.
Right.
But it's hard because I've toured still, and trying to get to the East Coast in time to do a show that day is really a challenge.
Yeah.
It's like It's hard to get there before 5 or 6 o'clock. But,
I hope there's no delays, man. That's all I got to say. I have 15 minutes. If it gets off, it'll work out. It's going to work out.
So who would you like to share a stage with? Who would you like to play with? Living, preferably.
Living.
That you haven't already. Because I'm sure that both of you played with some pretty incredible names.
Oh, the Stones are my. I'm a Stones freak.
Really?
And when Bobby Keys, who was my hero since I was 12, when he passed away last year, I was crushed, but I was also like,
I'll take that slot.
Should be my gig right there.
Yeah,
and started trying to get messages because I know a couple of like real distant connections in there.
Well, you know,
but my friend Carl Denson ended up doing a gig, and we saw him play actually last summer. But that'd be my hero. That would be my gig.
Is there a song? What song means the most to you? As far as inspiration, for any reason, just a song. Is there a song that is? I hate to say favorite. I hate to say favorite.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down. I mean, the Rolling Stones. I love that band. I've always loved that band, and they have a song on the Exile on Main Street record called "Shine a Light" that I recorded on my first record that I still do when I'm in my band, and it's a beautiful kind of gospel song. I don't know if it's my favorite song. It's certainly
it means a lot to you.
One of my favorites.
You harken back to it when you think, that's you got anything that really sticks out? Something you heard that you sang through the 7th grade and memorized and still wake up singing it sometimes?
To be honest with you, one of my biggest dreams and goals was I always wanted to play with B.B. King. I mean, and obviously that's not going to happen. But I remember being in kindergarten, and I was sitting on this we all had these little mats, and my kindergarten teacher played this video. It was like the TV was on the cart, they rolled it in, we were learning about the blues. And B.B. King, it was a black and white video of him, and I'm like, that's it. And I went home and told my parents, I'm like, I learned about this really cool music today, and it was like, it just, from that point on, it was...
So there's your defining moment, right?
Yeah.
There, for sure, man.
So what I've been saying is we're doing the cruise in October, Buddy Guy's on it, and it's like, the chance is probably pretty slim, but to be able to perform with an artist like Buddy Guy...
On the cruise, you probably will.
It would be great. Let's just say that. They have their thing, and as an artist, we all know it's hard to get people to sit in on certain situations, but to have breakfast with them, or lunch, or dinner, or just to talk to them and say, hey, listen, you're a legend, I played the trumpet, it'd be great, or just to have that experience so that I can live life and say, I did this guy had coffee with Buddy Guy, that's, that's probably for me, he's the next one of the greatest guys ever.
And the next one is Bobby Rush. And
Rush.
We just played with Bobby Rush.
Yeah. Right.
Bobby's a friend of mine, and he always says to me, he goes, Jimmy, there's B.B. King, there's Buddy Guy, there's Bobby Rush.
Right.
Yep.
Pretty soon they're just going to be Buddy Guy and Bobby Rush.
Right.
And now that's what it is.
Yeah, he just played a festival out in Long Beach. I saw him at. He was freaking incredible.
Well, we got him to do. I've done business with Bobby, booked him different places, and there was when Bobby does that show that he does, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But when Bobby stops doing that show and just plays blues, he's unbelievable.
Off the hook.
I mean, he is so good, and nobody really knows that. Everybody thinks, well, it's just all about those girls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Really
He's prolific. That man has 300 albums out.
Right.
Yep.
I mean,
He's a smart guy, and he was born in 1937, I don't know. I have a scan of his passport.
And if you look at him, you can't tell how old he is.
No, and he's a maniac, man. Did you see?
Right.
Did you see? Well, we did the benefit show to kick off the Bender Wednesday night.
Yeah.
It did, and he did that little jump up and down. He jumped around and kicked his feet all up in there, and I was like, wow,
this is awesome.
This is amazing.
It was amazing.
Cool, man.
I love that. He's a hero.
So if you had to choose, if you had a gun to your head and you had to pick live or studio for the rest of your life?
Live
all the way.
Okay, and tell me this: is it the feedback from the audience and the vibe, or is it the fact that once it's gone, you put it out there and it's just gone? I mean, I've heard both answers, and I
mean, you get in the studio when you do it when it works. The studio is usually it goes between agony and ecstasy back and forth all day, like 10 times, 15 times a day. You'll do something and it's wonderful. You go, yes, and then you just can't get something and it's painful. It hurts.
Yeah.
But live, it's gone. You know, once
Yeah.
you play it, if there's a little clam here and there, it doesn't matter. It's gone.
Right.
Nobody remembers that. And you get the energy of, like when we did this thing with Namath today, with John Namath.
Yeah.
He's into it, and he looks back, and it's like it's all greasy and funky and cool, and it's when you hit those
Well, in the
parts,
theater, I saw you guys down there in the theater backing him up, man. Whoa!
I mean, we hit those parts, and they sound good. Everything's in tune, and the harmonies are cool. I mean, you can't beat that. It's
Live there's something special about live.
Right.
You know, there CDs. You know, you can create the moment and make it sellable. You know, but live you can build a moment. Like you can work it. You can stretch things out. As a trumpet player, as horn players, you know, to be able to create this vibe and like people come up to you afterwards, like, you know, like I had a guy walking to here out the pool right where we are now. He's like, hey man, he grabs my arm. He's like, everyone here plays fast. He's like, you hold the notes out, you play melody, and he's like, you held this note out, you know. And he like commented on that. Like you can't. I mean, on a record, cool, people play. Like to touch people like that, that's what you do live, and it's special, you know. Yeah. That's why I do it.
When you record, what you want to do, because everybody says they hear a band live and they buy the record and they go home and listen to it. They go, it doesn't sound anything like, you know, it doesn't have the same thing. Right. So when you're in a studio, you're trying to make it have that presence. You know,
there is a live dynamic that you really.
It's hard to do, man. Yeah. It's hard to get that on a record, and some people do it, but it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And,
I would like to say this: when you're recording, I did a record with John Scofield. Obviously people know John Scofield. It was really cool because John Scofield's the man. I mean, you play with Miles Davis, and you hear records, and you're like, oh my God, you just know his sound. Well, he came in. It was a live recording, so it was like the band wasn't like a booth where you could redo stuff.
Right.
And he played 1, 2, 3 times through the song, 4 times through the songs, and it was like. Maybe take 5 or 6, and that was like, that's John Scofield, right? And then you put the record out, and it's like his sound. Live, like, you know, John Scofield's got to bring it around. You know what I mean? Right. We got to bring it, you know, live, and it kind of creates this adrenaline.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like your mentality's different. Like in a studio, you're like, all right, I can do it again, whatever. Live, it's like.
It's down. Let's do it.
Yeah, there was a moment with, again, Namath today, where we did this, many moments, but we did this line. We all looked at it, it's like, wow. It was like really, really. So, yeah, man, just to kind of keep on reiterating on your comment, live is just so special, man.
I think it all depends on what kind of music you're trying to play, what kind of message you're trying to get.
I don't know if he still does it, but Tab Benoit used to do all his records live. Yeah. And they would just turn it on and start playing. And I played on a couple of those records. It was like second take, done.
For your websites.
JimmyCarpenter.net.
DougWoolverton.com.
Cool, man. That was easy.
There's a graphic artist. A graphic artist in Nashville named Jimmy Carpenter, and he's got .com. So I have a standing thing in my, in the whatever they call that, the web hosting world, that if he ever fails to pay his dues for even 30 seconds, I'm Jimmy Carpenter. I am truly honored and proud to be a part of the Big Blues Bender. I met AJ at the precursor to the Bender. We hit it off, and our relationship has built ever since then. And I'm really happy to be here and look forward to being here every year.
My name is Doug Woolverton, and AJ, thank you so much for having me, and Jimmy, thank you so much for having me be a part of the Bender Brass, and trying to make memories, and hope to see you all next year as well, and year after that.
Hey, you guys, thanks for your time. Thanks for the performances, man. I'm telling you, I've caught at least 3 or 4 of them, and you guys blow me away, man. You guys really blow me away.
Thank you very much.
Top notch.
It's been a pleasure.
Just I can't say enough good about what's happening here, what you're bringing to it. I had no idea you were the MD for all this stuff, man, and the director of the jams.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And these guys, all of them, like I said, they all came through and did their homework.
That's
and
awesome.
It's been pleasant, friendly, and nice. And I've worked them really hard.
That's a cool thing about this. I mean, I saw Alistair. He came in and was talking about, this is my 5th gig. He says, I'm tired, but man, I could do it for another week.
Alistair is another one that really, really stepped up and helped me with the guitar charts and all that stuff.
Well, another guy that has to get props is Mike Lazier.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
what a beast.
What a beast.
I was telling him last night, you're a beast. You are a you're a machine.
He's a good friend of mine, and what a drummer.
Man, and
Oh,
another one. He did his homework. He knew that stuff.
Yeah.
And he just played the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It's like I'd look back there, and he's just. I mean, he's not just doing this. He's like.
Oh yeah, man. He's animal. He's
Yeah.
from Sesame Street, big time.
He was great.
He is.
And another one. I mean, the beauty of this for me is these guys and girls were all just so pleasant, and then
Because it could have, you know,
nice.
with this much going on, it could go south quick.
Well, and it does. I mean,
Yeah.
but the artists at large, the Bender Brass Band, all these people have been wonderful. There's not everybody in this thing. You know, people are difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Nobody here. There's been no issues, no problems. Everybody was happy to work and happy to help. And, I mean, we worked hard.
You're doing a hell of a job, man. I appreciate you guys. What you do.
Thank you.